Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing a figure review of the Monkey D. Luffy variable action heroes versus the SH Figuarts Monkey D. Luffy battle or the raid on Onigashima. I was looking for a video of these figures going up against each other on YouTube, but I couldn't find any, so I figured why not just grab them both and give you guys a full in-depth review as to which is a better purchase. And yeah, so let's go right ahead with it. We're gonna break it down into 4 categories. Number 1 being price, number 2 being accessories, number 3 being articulation, and 4 the overall verdict. Alright, as we can see just from first glance, we see that variable action hero Luffy here has more detail, as it is the more expensive of the 2 figures. It is definitely the more expensive of the 2 figures here. Very articulate, very detailed. Alright. This is taller, so if you are going to be collecting these, this won't sit as well next to the SH Figuarts Zoro and Sanji. He's actually gonna look significantly taller than both those guys, which isn't anime accurate, whereas this guy is gonna fit perfectly. The colors are more bright on the SH Figuarts Luffy. His hat is just kind of on. Oh, he just got knocked out. And like, if you take a look at them in side-by-side comparison, that's essentially the height difference in what we are seeing. Yeah. That is the height difference. Take a look at the back here. The detail, the rippling effect on his clothing, both very detailed. Both are actually really good. If you notice the scar on the SHF, it's more significant versus the one here. It's kind of just there. Here he really looked like he took a beating from a Kainu, versus this looks like he kind of dodged most of the attack and still has a little bit of a battle scar to show. Honestly, pricing wise is going to be the variable action heroes Luffy is at roughly gonna be $130. I got this from GameStop for $129.99. But with the Edge Platinum card, it brings it down significantly to $116, which is a little better, but still overall very expensive. Definitely not something I recommend collecting if you do not have the cash. This is, I would say this has way more detail. Plus it has a piece where, you know, his hat can just chill around his neck, versus this Luffy, he doesn't have that option, so he either has his hat off or on his head, whereas this one is chilling. But if you happen to get them both, you can take the extra piece of this guy's hat and wrap it around his neck, so it's kind of hanging the way his is over there. As you can see, just from visual perspective, this is significantly more detailed, as it should be, because this came out as a budget release, whereas this is, you know, the pride and joy of the VAH line. So you definitely get what you pay for in terms of detail. Very nice figure. Articulation, pretty good on the articulation, I must say. So yeah, you're looking at $130 for this one, versus this one, if you are US based, you're gonna be paying $34.99. But I'm basing this off of Canadian prices, so after the conversion rate, that $35 essentially becomes $50 Canadian, and that's not including shipping, which is going to be 30 bucks, plus import fees, which is another 20 to 30 bucks. So overall, you're looking at $90 for this figure versus $130 for this one. Is it worth the extra $40 for this one? The answer to that is it depends. It depends which line you're more geared into collecting. Like if you're planning on collecting the variable action heroes line, then obviously you're gonna want to go with this because it matches in scale with the other figures. Versus if you want to collect the SHF, which they're more focused on these days with the announcement of Law, Yamato, and Kaido, you're probably gonna want to go with this one. I personally collect them both. That's how I can give you these reviews. But yeah, let's go on to the accessories. So for the variable action hero Luffy, we got pretty much standard hair pieces, extra hat piece just to stick on his head. We've got the angry face, the serious face, and his smiling face. So you're limited to 3 facial features, whereas on the other one you have 4 right off the bat. We have smiling with teeth open face, angry teeth gritting face, surprise face, and just a normal serious looking face. But the thing about the SH Figuarts line is that for every other character that you would be getting, you're gonna get an additional face sculpt of Luffy. The original one being the surprise face with Luffy over here. To get, say, the Zoro Figuart, which I have, you're gonna get the surprised look. Or if you were to get Sanji, drooling look over here. As you collect more of these characters, you're gonna be getting more facial expressions. So, which is really smart on Bandai to implement that. So it's gonna kind of force you to get the better faces of Luffy, especially if you really don't want certain side characters. Like for instance, Yamato is going to be a more expensive release, and you're probably going to want to get that because it comes with his smirking classic Luffy facial expression. Here, I'll show you. You're gonna be getting that piece, and that's an iconic facial expression of Luffy. So I personally don't care for Yamato as much, but I'm probably gonna have to end up picking that up just to get that face. Articulation, I literally just opened this, so kind of have to break into it just a little bit. But the ab crunch is definitely better than the ab crunch on the variable action heroes. Yeah, it's kind of stiff. You're gonna have to break into it a little bit. This one is a lot more loose right off the get-go. Very easy to pose. It's not really fighting you. Of course, the knee joints are significantly better than the knee joints on the SH Figuarts. Everybody seems to be complaining about that. Can't really do his iconic poses without things just getting exceptionally awkward. Much more stiff articulation and detail is definitely better on the variable action heroes, which is probably why it's more expensive. Overall, I'd say between these two, I mean, if you're a true fan, you're probably gonna end up getting them both. But if you can really afford one based on your budget, if you're looking to save some money, I'd say go for the SH Figuarts. If you have the extra cash laying around and you can afford the better quality, better detail, I'd say go for the variable action heroes. But you also got to remember that you're limited to 3 facial expressions over here, versus with Luffy, you're always going to be getting the updates of new facial features. So, I mean, in the long run, you're probably going to end up getting them both. Or if you want more facial features, you could always go for the Imagination Works. Plus, he has his armament mode, hockey arms, whereas neither of these figures have that. You could always buy third-party accessories that are compatible with these to get that hockey effect. But overall verdict, I'd say if you can afford them, get them both. If you can't afford them both, I would still say get this one. Better articulation, more accessories. You have the hat chillin' effect around his neck. Yeah, better detail, more accessories. So I'd say the winner is variable action heroes Luffy. So as always, thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.